following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
What's up, what's happening, and welcome into another episode of the Up Tempo Podcast. I'm your host, Blake Lane, here tonight with my co-host, Dustin Smith, and we are here to talk a little Auburn baseball. Dustin, first, man, before we get into Auburn baseball, how was your weekend, man, and how's it been going?
I apologize for the shitty camera work, everybody. We're running on fumes over here behind the scenes at the Up Tempo Podcast. I normally say this for the end of the video. Please hit the like button because our determination to bring this podcast to you tonight should be awarded with something. So, at the very least, you can do. I guarantee you, we've rehearsed this podcast here a couple times. This will be about the fifth time I've said all this shit today. So, that's how I'm doing. You can sense the frustration in the voice. Pay for internet and pay for cords and all this fancy high-tech stuff. And hey, man, I don't know, but we're here and excited to talk a little baseball. And hey, man, it's like remember at the beginning of the towards the end of basketball season, I said I really, really hope that we can at least hit the baseball because our offense sucked so bad in football and basketball. Yeah. I didn't want us to have to struggle through scoring runs in baseball as well. Well, we don't have to worry about that. We score runs. But what we also do is give them bad boys up. And we're losing on game threes by touchdowns, bro. Tutties. We're losing by like tutties.
Getting blown out.
Oh man, yeah. Just getting, yeah. It's something to see. It's a sight to behold. I'll tell you what. Sunday was the first game I've turned off this year. I wrote out the Georgia game because I'm stupid like that. But even I got fed up. Well, I just said, okay, man, this is. We're at the point we need 20 runs to win these game threes. Now we look great on Fridays. We are. Game one, we come out firing. And that's kind of the part about this weekend that is frustrating to me is how the wheels fell off in game 2 and 3 because Drew Nelson gave you 7 beautiful innings in the midweek game, setting you up. The only arm you have to use is him. And then Friday, Will Cannon gives you 4. He doesn't start. He comes in and gives you 4 in a role he's unfamiliar with. Tanner Bauman comes in and gives you 4 innings, 0 earned runs, only gives up 1 hit. And then Chase Isbell, he comes in strong, closes it out. So your arms are fresh. And then Saturday, it kind of goes away. 5 runs isn't enough to beat Gators. It isn't enough to beat this Florida team, but it should have you in the ball game. And then on Sunday, 8 runs again should have you in the ball game at the least, if not winning the game. So it's a lot of things to like. Nate LaRue comes in and gets a hit in every game. Bobby Pierce stacking up the hits. Cooper stacking up the hits and drawing walks. He's very patient at the plate. Ike starting to turn those doubles into home runs. A lot of stuff to like. Bryson Ware continues to hit the ball. A lot of good stuff on that end, but it's a team game, man. It's a team game. And when your offense is this good, you don't have to have the second or third best staff in the SEC. Just be around 5th or 6th. But you can't be doing this, man. You can't be doing this and expect to be competitive in this league. It's not going to work.
So, Dustin, my buddy DG, he just got my mentions on Twitter and said if you figure out your bullpen, Auburn is a team that no one wants in their region. All right? No one wants Auburn in their regional, period. Because Auburn's offense is that deadly. Cole Foster, playing lights out. Bobby Barrels, playing lights out. Ike Irish, Kirby, Coop. Coop hit a nuke, all right?
Yeah.
Coop the nuke, all right? I mean, my brother – yes, and my brother said that the ball off the bat on that nuke that Coop hit in game 3 to cut it to a 3-1 game, and he said he was standing out in the left center, and he said that ball cleared him by 50 feet, man. And so this lineup has pop, man. And like you mentioned, Nate LaRue comes in, and a guy that we've said, hey, you know, sometimes he doesn't need to be in the lineup because he hasn't produced at the plate. And I'm not asking you to hit 280. I'm not asking you to hit 300 as a catcher. No, a catcher, look, I just need you to give me 230, 240, 250. Hit 250, Nate. If you can hit 250, that's all I ask, man. Just be productive, all right? Because at the beginning of the season, he was nowhere, all right? It was an automatic out. I remember you texting me a couple times saying automatic out, you know? And now to see him coming on, Caden Green, who is a guy that has caught so much hate on social media about his defense, he's swinging it well. How can you take Caden Green out of the lineup when he's hitting laser beams out of left field to tie games up 3-3 on Sunday? You know, he finds ways on base. He puts bunts down when the team needs him to move a guy over. He's been very, very solid. Can't catch a routine pop-up on the infield to save his life, but he can hit. So he's got that going for him. But, man, this lineup is so deep, is so talented. Ike Irish has no business playing baseball for the Auburn Tigers. The kid should be in a farm system somewhere right now. I just don't want to waste this lineup because our bullpen can't figure it out. And, Dustin, that's one thing I kind of wanted to talk about before we really dive into all three of these games is, man, how big is it to actually miss Joseph Gonzalez and have relievers having to step in and pick up Friday night starts like a Will Cannon did, who has been so electric out of the bullpen for the Auburn Tigers?
It's killing us. I mean,
torture.
It's killing us. And we knew it was going to. And
Yep.
This is, I mean, you don't have to be a genius to figure it out. So it's really bad, man. It throws off the whole rotation. You have to have guys like you've made the point many times. A guy like Tanner Bauman has to start. You're taking him out of his role. It just messes it all up. Not to mention, he's the one guy where you say, okay, I know I can put him on the bump. I know he's going to get the job done. In a clutch moment, I know Gonzo will get it done. Yep. He's your ace. And so without having him, it's just destroying this staff, really, because he's just the leader. Everything kind of starts with him, and the way everybody else is pitching, it sure would be nice to at least have one guy that you could say, okay, this is a win. And really think about it like this. We still are in these series and or are winning these series and winning these games with such questionable pitching. I mean, Tommy Vale had went 5 innings versus Georgia is our only start in the SEC that has gone 5 innings. I mean, look at them. They're 2.2, 2.1. I read it off last week. That didn't change this week. Mm-hmm. Let's see what the most we got this week was. I'm pretty sure it's going to be Will. Nope, Tommy Vale 4.2. And in those 4.2, he gave up 4 earned runs and walked 5 guys. Struck out 6, but you can't walk 5 guys. You can't walk Florida 5. Their offense is too good. You can't give them, like you said, you can't give them freebies. They're the one of the best offenses in the country. So
yeah, that's what led to that disastrous first inning.
Yep.
I mean, you walk guys and then eventually you get a hit, and Bobby tries to make a play, gets caught in between, and bang, there it is. Bases cleared. You're down 3-0 just like that because you give guys freebies, Dustin. And I didn't mean to cut you off, but it's just one of the things, man. It's just one of the things that it just bugs me, man. And I tell you all the time, I can live with guys getting hit around the park, bro. If you just go in there and it's not your day and you're getting shelled, I can live with that. But the one thing I can't live with, Dustin, is for you to give free pass after free pass after free pass. All right, they're not even having to lift the bat off their shoulders because they know you're going to throw a ball. Tell me when Chase Alsop come into the game, who took a competitive at bat for Florida? Nobody, because they knew he wasn't throwing a strike. He couldn't throw the breaking ball for a strike. He couldn't throw nothing for a strike. Everything was buried into the dirt. Even his fastball, man, he was missing by 3 feet on his fastball. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even competitive. And that's a big thing I say to guys. Look, man, You have to put together competitive pitches. Even when you miss, it has to be something competitive, something to get a guy to maybe chase or just, think about swinging and saying, damn, that was a good pitch. All right. He missed, but he had me out on my front foot, and it was competitive. We're not throwing competitive pitches. And, I made a tweet about Hayden Murphy coming in, who's a puppy. All right. And that's what a lot of these Auburn guys are in this bullpen, man. I'm not sure if a lot of people realize what we're dealing with in this bullpen. There is a lot of children in this bullpen. And when I say that, they're still kids, man. They're still learning college baseball. They still haven't they're brand new to SEC play, man. And that's why missing Gonzo is so big, and it means so much to this team, is because you're having to throw guys out there like Trevor Horn and Hayden Murphy and things like that, man. It's just you're running these guys out there, and like Drew Nelson, you have to put him in a spot the other day where who wants to go out there in that? Come on, Dustin, you want to go out there where everybody's just walking, just freelancing to first base, and here you are, hey Drew, get out there, man, get us out of it. That's not a spot you want to be in.
He already threw 7 innings for you. Like he already set you up, and he's a freshman. So it's like, to your point, it's like, man, he's a freshman that just threw 7 good innings, and now it's like he was never in the plans to pitch this weekend.
Yeah,
and then it just got that bad. So when it gets to that point, yeah, I can't hold that against you.
No, how do you get up for that? How are
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, I can't. Chase also. It really boils down to Chase also. That's the guy that we're calling to step up on this podcast. Tell me I'm wrong. Dustin.
I mean, he's definitely he's one of them. And the thing with that is, you were supposed to be the Friday night starter. You go back and listen to our preview show with Lindsay, right? Mm-hmm. Lindsay was confident that Butch was confident that Chase would be able to handle that role. Mm-hmm. And that's why I asked the question, is Chase going to be ready to go? Because it's just being assumed that this is good to go.
Yep.
It's been anything but, man. It's been anything but. You throw the ball 98 miles an hour, you got to throw it over the plate. And we've seen multiple performances of Chase this year dominate, come in, sit guys down. So this is what I've probably said 10 times so far this season with this. It would be one thing if you weren't capable of doing it, but you're capable of doing it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like a lot of it at this point is mental with these guys. Mm-hmm. Like, it just feels like shit's rolling downhill. Mm-hmm. Oh man, here we go again type thing. Kind of what we saw on the basketball side in the close games. It just feels like when we start walking guys, I mean, dude, go back to Lipscomb. I think it was Lipscomb that we gave up 6 doubles in 1 inning.
Yeah.
You gave up 16 runs in 1 inning to Georgia. And then you have the performance that you put on Saturday or Sunday, I mean. So it just, like I said, it just seems mental at this point where it's like, man, I get it. A guy comes and clutters the bases. You got a guy on second and third, and now you're coming out the pen. You're in a tough spot. But damn it, that's what you got brought to Auburn to do. So, yes, it's tough. Buckle down and strike him out and get out of the inning. Instead of giving up line gaps, doubles, cleared the bases, 3 runs, and now we're giving up 24 runs, 17 runs. I mean, it's just got to stop, bro. It's just got to stop. And Coach Rock, you got to figure something out too, buddy.
It doesn't look good on the resume, man. It doesn't look good on the resume. It kind of looks like Penn State coming to Jordan-Hare and running you out of your own building. But that's for another day, man. A-Day coming up this weekend. Hopefully the rain stays away, Dustin. How about that, man? I know you got tickets to the Texas A&M series. Big A-Day weekend coming up, man. Like I said, hopefully the weather stays away and you get to enjoy your weekend, man.
I hope so, buddy. I hope so. Last year's A-Day, it was like 42 degrees and 20 mile per hour winds. Like A-Day before that, it rained. It's just they maybe need to sit down and think of maybe moving a day off of Easter weekend, and then also from the because they do this every year, and then also it seems to be crap weather every single year. So I don't know, maybe move it or something, but hopefully we'll get lucky, man. It's a high chance of rain, but
Yeah.
hopefully Saturday it'll be able to push out later in the day or maybe get in early in the morning because you got the Frank Thomas statue. I want to see that. Obviously, really excited to see what Hugh's going to put out there on the field. I just want to see competent football again in that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. And then this is a series, man. This is a series that we should win, I think. And we definitely have a good chance at it. You look at the two Mississippi schools.
Yep.
Series we should win. You look at Missouri's series we should win. Bama, going to be tough in Tuscaloosa. It's not undoable. It's not this daunting task.
Got to take 2 out of 3. Got to take 2 out of 3 from Tuscaloosa.
I look at the schedule, bro, and I say LSU. Like, and I may be missing one. I don't have a schedule right in front of me. I'm working off my phone at this point, but yeah. I think LSU is obviously your toughest one remaining. One that you're just gonna say, okay, man, if you win a game, cool beans. But other than that, dude, these series you should be in if your pitching can just get to the top half of the SEC. I mean, you gotta be better. You gotta be better than this because Ike might cool off a little bit. What is that? What does Ike cooling off mean? I mean, the kid's still batting over 400. What does Bryson Ware cooling off mean? You know what I mean? Like, Cooper's not about to cool off. Cooper's just getting hot. Bobby's just getting hot. So,
and you got Nate LaRue hitting. So, I mean,
yeah, Nate's hitting, man. Cole's hitting.
Yeah. Hell, your 9 holes hitting. Caden Green's hitting. I mean, dude's hitting what, 280? I mean, 270, 280. I mean, if you got a second baseman hitting like that, man, I mean, hey, your lineup's potent, man. But look, you know, we're going into Texas A&M, and obviously we lose Chase Isbell in Game 3 Sunday, man, and that is a big loss. That was a guy that was finding things out, and he was a guy that I kind of depended on, and we lose him. And so you're going in. Listen here, Dustin. You got Texas A&M, then you got a midweek at Georgia Tech, then you got 3 in Tuscaloosa, then you got Sanford a midweek, then you play Mississippi State at home. You got to sweep Mississippi State. They're terrible. Man. They're terrible. They are awful.
They're really bad.
They suck. All right. Then you got Troy in a midweek game. Then you go to South Carolina. Difficult series. I don't think they're as good as what people are giving them credit for. I really don't. I don't think they're that great. They dropped the game to Mississippi State this weekend. Their pitching is pretty good. I know they can hit a little bit, but I don't think they're the 9th best team in the country. I think Auburn can hang a couple up on them. We just got to slow their bats down, man. But in Columbia, at South Carolina, that's going to be a tough task. But I would really, really hope Auburn could take 2 out of 3. And then you get LSU at home, man. Look, you're really just hoping and praying you can get 1 from LSU. All right, you don't want to ask any more than that. We know this is the best team in the country. Let's just get 1 there. And then you got Sanford in a midweek. Then you go to Ole Miss. Man, they're terrible. Okay. You got to get 2 out of 3. I possibly sweep them, Dustin. Possibly sweep them. They are not what everybody thought they were going to be. They're not good, man. Their pitching is a disaster right now. Don't let the Rebs get hot, though, because last year they did the same stuff. They were the last team in the NCAA tournament, ended up being the last team left, winning the national championship. And then you got Jacksonville State in a midweek, and then you have the Missouri Tigers to close out SEC play. Missouri started hot. They took the series from Tennessee to open up SEC play, and I don't think they've taken a series since. All right, they've kind of fallen off a little bit. I didn't see Missouri being very good coming into the year, so I think that is a series that you need to win, man. And look, you got to get around the 16-14 mark. All right, you play 30 games. Give me to the 16-14 mark. You're in the discussion of a 2 seed in somebody's regional, and like my buddy DG said, there's no way in hell I'd want to see Auburn strolling into my campus as a 2 seed in my regional. That's scary, man, the way this team can hit. And I don't want to waste this lineup, man, because there's so much pop, man. this offense we've got to figure out the bullpen. We've got to figure it out. Somebody has to step up, Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers speak for themselves. We've said it a million times, right? We know how hard these guys work. We understand that nobody wants it more than them. Not trying to be hard on them. You continue to preach. Got to understand their youth. This is just going to be part of it. But it's also one of them things where you play baseball for an SEC program in Auburn that has been very successful lately. We heard what Butch said last year. He wants the expectations of this program to get to Omaha and win.
Absolutely.
That's what he said. His words were, "I want the fans to expect that of us." That's how he said it. So, that's to just honoring Butch. That's okay. I got you. So, yeah, a couple guys got to step up, man. You got to be, because if you weren't capable, I would throw my hands up. Right, there are some guys like with the offensive line over the last couple years. You just throw your hands up at some point because them kids can't block.
Yep.
And that's what that is.
So Dustin, who are you calling out? Who are you calling out to step up? I gotta ask you.
I would say Chase, but you know what, dude? After this performance, I think that Chase needs to take some time away. And I don't know if it's a complete mental with him. I think some of it is, but I'm not there every day, so I don't know. But whether it's mechanics, but I think he needs to take some time away and kind of reset and maybe come back in a couple of weeks, because right now it's just it's too far gone. And
he's lost. He's lost.
Yeah, and he's better than that. So everybody, I mean, shit, dude, everybody. Tommy Vale's been. I'm not saying that he's by far been one of the better ones, but give us 6-7 innings, dude. Like, don't walk 6 guys. Let's see.
He always seems to have a little trouble his second time through the lineup, and that's probably because he's been coming out of relief, and then he gets thrown into this starting role, and he's got to do a little better that second time through, man. And like you said, stop walking people, and you would get an inning or two more out of him.
Same thing with Tommy Vale. Game 2, 5 walks.
You mean Crotchfeld?
Well, that was Tommy okay, that was Tommy in game 3. But so that was game 3. I'm sorry. But Crotchfeld, 2.2 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs. Zach got the stuff. Zach's got all the stuff. The thing I think that's happening there is I like the fact that he plays emotional. I like that about him. Be yourself, but don't get bent out of shape when something goes wrong. And that's for a guy like John Armstrong too, because when it starts to go with John, boy, it goes. Yeah. So just this staff as a whole, man, there's guys that can pitch. Get it together. We need 3 or 4 of you guys. We need some starters to step up and be consistent. We need you to go 5, 6, 7 innings consistently, man. At least give us 5 to 6. 2.2, 2.1 every SEC start. That's not going to get it done, and that's why we keep getting our ass kicked on Sunday.
Yeah, that's why we're sitting.
It's not fair to our lineup. It's not fair to the bats.
That's why we're sitting at 18-9-1 and 3-6 in the Southeastern Conference, Dustin. And I agree with you 100%. I think those guys that you mentioned need to step up. Those are guys that we were expecting to be a big part of this program early on in their career at Auburn. And when we looked at the preview show coming into the season, these are guys that were mentioned. So
Copeland too. Copeland needs to step it up too.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. Look, this is a College World Series lineup. All right.
Yeah.
This is a College World Series lineup with a regional bullpen. All right.
You're being generous.
I am because I'm not going to sit here and down my Tigers. I
hear you.
Orange and blue glasses, baby.
I hear you. I love you guys, but come on now, let's get it together.
Yeah. But like I said, man, we're going to speak the truth, and we're calling some guys out that need to step up, but it's all love, man. It's all love. Yeah, absolutely. We watch this team every single weekend, man. I could be doing so many different things, but instead I find myself in front of my monitor in my bedroom watching Auburn baseball on the weekends. Okay. That's what we love to do on this podcast is watch Auburn baseball, Auburn sports. And we care about these guys, man. And that's why it means so much to us. And we come on here and talk Auburn baseball and recap it. And I know we got a big midweek game tomorrow night. I know we play UAB. That'll be big. Hopefully we can get a pitching performance like we did last week from Drew Nelson and really get some momentum with a big weekend at Auburn University in a whole, Dustin. Just a big weekend overall, like you said, with A-Day we mentioned earlier, and that Texas A&M series being right there at Plainsman. But, man, that was a tough one this past weekend. It was a tough one. But sometimes you gotta take one on the chin, man, like that, and you gotta bounce back. We're gonna see what this team's made of. Ultimately, they took some adversity right there. We're gonna see what this team's made of this weekend because I expect a hot Auburn team to come out fired up, playing with their hair on fire, and I expect somebody to step up on this pitching staff this weekend, Dustin. But before we get out of here, man, I'm gonna leave it to you for your final thoughts, and the stage is yours, my man.
Yeah. And here's the thing, man. Like yesterday was a rough day for the on Auburn Twitter for the pitching staff.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's just it kind of is what it is at this point. And I'm sure that those guys on their way back home from Gainesville are probably all talking to each other on the plane, bus, whatever, saying, "Man, we got to get it together." So, again, nobody wants it more than those guys. I understand that they're trying. You make the point all the time. They're young. And it's a big stage. It's the bright lights of SEC baseball. So it's tough, but I know you. I mean, we know you guys can do it. So it's time to do it. I want to give a shout out to at Auburn Man 100 on Twitter. About 2 months ago, he called me a dumbass. He called me an idiot. He called me retarded. He called me stupid. He said that I shouldn't be allowed to have a podcast. He said that I should not be allowed to talk basketball. I had no idea what I was talking about when I talked about basketball. Mm-hmm. And the reason he said all these things was because I tweeted out that there was going to be some significant roster changes this offseason. Mm-hmm. Now, this fired a lot of people up, but I thought that, and I've called them all out today with no response from a single one. And I got blocked by 2 of them, but I want to, which is typical, but I just want to shout out Auburn Man specifically because he used a lot of cool language, and he even hopped on my other tweets. I said like people are sleeping on JD Rim, and he hopped over there and was like, "Who's sleeping on JD Rim? You're a dumbass. Nobody's sleeping on JD Rim," which is a weird thing to say to a tweet like that. So shout out to you, Auburn Sportsman 100, because you're the dumbass. Because guess what happened? Here we are, and here are our roster changes. You've got 3 so far. Okay, your precious win. He's gone. And there's more to come. Probably 2 to 3 more to come. So, yeah, buddy. And you haven't responded. You're not gonna respond because people like you that hide behind avatars, that hide behind burner accounts, and then talk the way you talk and can't have a cordial conversation with anybody. This is the kind of stuff you do. So you're a clown. I've been waiting 2 months to dunk on you because I knew exactly what I was talking about when I talked about it. And who's wrong now? Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe after that heat. Dustin on the soapbox going in one time, getting after it. My buddy went in on Twitter today too. If you don't follow Dustin, get over there and follow him. He lit it up on Twitter with the receipts, the bookmarks, and said, "Hey, right back at you." All right. We knew that this was going to be a complete overhaul in the basketball department. BP.
I never understood the backlash on that. Like, what are y'all watching?
What about the backlash with Wendell Green Sr.'s tweet, the LOL? What are we LOLing? Are we LOLing the last second shots? Is that what we're LOLing? Like, I'm not down and win. I'm not down and win because I think people went at him a little too hard. Because I think he got told to leave. I'll say that. Okay. And I think BP loves win. And I think Auburn fans love win. But that isn't the right thing to do, to get on Twitter and LOL. Like, look, man, he had his time to shine. And he did for most part. But then those last second shots, man, that's got to be what we're LOLing. I mean, I don't know, Dustin. Weird
So Bruce
things.
comes in. Yeah, that was strange. Bruce comes and gets your son out of Eastern Kentucky or whatever it was, and
puts him on the map.
Puts him on the map, gives him an SEC opportunity, gives him Auburn NIL opportunities, which are more than he was going to get at Eastern Kentucky. Obviously, gives him the exposure, gives him game tape in the SEC, and gives him free reign. Like, not a lot of coaches are going to let you a 29% 3-point shooter pull up from 35 feet. Bruce let Wynn play his game. Even with two players that are really showing themselves in the NBA, and Jabari and Walker, he still let Wynn shoot the last second shots, and then let him do it this year too. And like you said, he never made them. So he had nothing. He had more trust in your son than anybody else, because we were all screaming, "Man, let somebody else do it." So I don't get it. It's weird. I'm sure there's things behind the scenes. We hear things, but like ultimately, man, second team All SEC. There were games this year where Wynn carried us. So like him and Janai were the most consistent players all year. So it's all love to Wynn. I wish him the best in his in his future. I think that we're going to be just fine. I think that we're going to get a commitment. I think we're going to get a commitment from a shooting guard Saturday that's going to change the game for us.
Love that. Love to hear that.
That just opens up Trey. This just opens it up because you got Aiden coming in, and this just opens it up for Trey.
Would you be talking about a guy maybe got a little something to do with Colorado? Some mountains out there. The Nuggets play out there. Would that have anything to do with it, Dustin?
There's man. Listen, old Denver. He can he can come on with his 20 points a game and his 47% from the field and his 38% from three. Dude, my guy, come have a great day at A-Day. You'll see all the love. Yeah, you'll see what it's all about. And like, if you're a kid looking at this Auburn program and what we've accomplished since Bruce Pearl's been the coach, making the tournament 5 in the last 6 years, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to hear the 4 out of 6, because everyone knows when they cut it off for COVID, we were going to make the freaking tournament. No lower than a 4 seed. It's so stupid when Bama fans throw that in there. Like, y'all didn't make the tournament that year. There was no tournament. Like, you're not going to pull that over my eye.
Yeah, we only have a dude named Isaac Okoro playing with the freaking Cleveland Cavaliers right now that was on that team, and Samir Dowdy was absolutely hooping that year. Yeah. Like, get out of here, bro. Like, I know I see that BS on there all the time, man. It just gives me like, oh God, so cringy, man. But oh man, what an episode, Dustin. What an episode, man. I mean, we'll wrap it up there. A lot of stuff to talk about. We'll dive more into some basketball coming up here soon, because I'm sure a lot of things, like you said, are about to pop off. There could be some more departures. Could be some new incomers that we're really excited to talk about. Hopefully we can get Jay back on here to get his thoughts on those things when they happen. And hopefully we can get Ike and the War Report guys on here to talk a little 8A football, man. There's some big things happening on the Plains this coming up week. But first, always remember, this weekend, I know 8A is going on, but get over to Plainsman Park, support your baseball team, show out for these guys, man. Pack Plainsman. This is a huge series. In my opinion, this is a turning point in the season, okay?
Yeah.
You win this series, grab some momentum, and take off. Let's fly high. So with that being said, we're going to hop out of here. We're going to leave you with a War Damn Eagle, and we will catch you guys on the next one. We're out.